Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving headfirst into a topic that's near and dear to my heart: web application security. Specifically, we're tackling the OWASP Top 10 Vulnerabilities of 2021. Now, if you're building, deploying, or even just interested in web apps, this list is your bread and butter. It's a compilation of the most critical security risks that can leave your applications vulnerable to attack. In this video, we'll explore each vulnerability, provide some real-world examples that'll make things crystal clear, and of course discuss some battle-tested mitigation strategies to keep your apps locked down tight. So grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's get started. First up, we've got broken access control, and trust me, this one's a real headache. Imagine this: your application's like a house, and access control is your front door lock. Now, if that lock's broken, anyone can waltz right in, right? The same goes for your apps. Improper access control means unauthorized users can get their hands on sensitive data, modify stuff they shouldn't, or even hijack your entire application. We're talking about attackers exploiting things like URL manipulation, finding sneaky backdoors in your APIs, and basically wreaking havoc. We've got to lock things down. Next up is cryptographic failures, and this one's all about keeping your secrets, well, secret. Think of it like this: encryption is your secret codebook, and if it falls into the wrong hands, you're toast. Weak, or even worse, non-existent encryption is like leaving your passwords on a sticky note stuck to your monitor. Attackers drool over this stuff. Storing passwords in plain text, using outdated encryption algorithms, transmitting sensitive data without protection, these are all recipes for disaster. We need to encrypt like our lives depend on it. Now let's talk about injection, one of the sneakiest vulnerabilities out there. Imagine someone slipping a malicious note into a suggestion box, and instead of a helpful tip, it shuts down the entire operation. That's injection in a nutshell. Attackers exploit vulnerabilities in your code to inject malicious commands, often through things like user input forms, SQL injection, command injection, you name it. If your application isn't carefully handling data, you're opening the door to a world of hurt. We need to sanitize, validate, and parameterize like pros. Chapter 4. Insecure design. Building security from the ground up. Alright, let's shift gears and talk about insecure design. This one's all about thinking like an attacker from the get-go. Imagine building a fortress but forgetting to put walls around your most valuable treasure. That's insecure design. Security needs to be baked into the DNA of your application from day one. Failing to implement things like rate limiting, secure authentication flows, or even just thinking about potential attack vectors during the design phase can come back to bite you big time. We need to design with security in mind. Chapter 5. Security misconfiguration, leaving the back door wide open. Next, we've got security misconfiguration, and this one's all about those little oversights that can have massive consequences. Think of it like leaving your spare key under the welcome mat. Sure, it's convenient, but it's also an open invitation for trouble. Incorrect security settings like using default admin credentials, leaving unnecessary features enabled, or spitting out detailed error messages to anyone who asks are like flashing a neon sign that says, "Hack me!" We need to lock down those configs. Chapter 6. Vulnerable and outdated components. The dangers of using rusty tools. Now let's talk about vulnerable and outdated components. This one's all about keeping your software toolbox up to date. Imagine trying to build a skyscraper with rusty old tools. It's not going to end well. Using outdated software components is like setting yourself up for failure. Outdated web frameworks, unpatched operating systems, libraries with known vulnerabilities. These are all ticking time bombs just waiting to be exploited. We need to keep everything patched and up to date. Alright, let's talk about identification and authentication failures. This one's all about making sure the users accessing your application are who they say they are. Imagine someone waltzing into your office and claiming to be the CEO. You'd want to see some ID, right? Weak authentication mechanisms are like leaving the keys to your kingdom lying around. Weak passwords, no multi-factor authentication, insecure session management. These are all ways attackers can impersonate legitimate users and gain unauthorized access. We need to tighten up those authentication protocols. Next up, we've got software and data integrity failures. This one's all about making sure the software you're using and the data you're handling haven't been tampered with. Imagine downloading a piece of software only to find out it's been infected with malware. That's a data integrity nightmare. Failing to verify the integrity of software updates, using untrusted third-party libraries, or having insecure CI/CD pipelines can lead to compromised applications and data breaches. We need to verify everything. Now let's talk about security logging and monitoring failures. This one's all about keeping a watchful eye on your application and detecting suspicious activity before it's too late. Imagine having a security camera system but never bothering to check the footage. That's a monitoring failure. Not logging security-relevant events, failing to monitor logs for suspicious patterns, or storing logs in plain text are all missed opportunities to detect and respond to attacks. We need to log everything and stay vigilant. Finally, we've got server-side request forgery, or SSRF for short. This one's a bit sneaky, as it involves tricking your server into making unauthorized requests on its behalf. Imagine someone slipping a fake order into your system, causing your warehouse to ship products to the wrong address. That's SSRF in action. Exploiting applications that fetch external resources without proper validation, abusing cloud metadata services, or leveraging SSRF to further compromise internal systems. These are all serious threats. We need to validate and sanitize all server-side requests. So there you have it, the OWASP Top 10 Vulnerabilities of 2021. We've covered a lot of ground today, but trust me, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to web application security. Understanding and mitigating these vulnerabilities is absolutely crucial for securing web applications and protecting your users and your data. It's not just a matter of following best practices, it's about building a security-first mindset that permeates every stage of the development lifecycle. Developers, security teams, and organizations as a whole need to work together, integrate security best practices, and stay ahead of the curve to minimize risks and create a safer online world. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you need more details on a specific topic. Stay safe out there.
Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more great content.